What's up, MilTown Fantasy Football League? This is your commissioner and his brother. Kevin, would you like to say anything?
Howdy, good folks. How's it going? This is Kevin Murray coming to you live action on Sawmill Road.
We hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving Day. We know we did. Instead of a power rankings, we're going to give you kind of a different format this evening. It's going to be who's in and who's out of the playoffs. Kevin?
Well, we got a lot of potentials here right now. It's going to be interesting coming down to the
A
block.
lot up in the air. We got 7 and 4, 6 and 5s, and 4 and 7s. All of the 4 and 7 teams are out right now, with Devin Mahaffey looking to be the loser that will be sitting on the Easter Bunny's lap. How do you think he'll do?
I mean, Devin, I love you, but I don't know, man. It seems like you've kind of taken a loss of fantasy football here. The words coming out of your mouth, not a lot of commitment out of you.
You know, what happens to a person when they start to live into peers, they kind of get away from the world and what's really going on out there. This might have affected his fantasy football team. He was a back-to-back-to-back champion. I haven't seen anything out of him since. Keep in mind, he's only 6 points behind Danny in the points for column. So if Danny slips up this week and they end up being tied, it's all a matter of that point scored. Overall, I think it's between Danny and Devin for the last place. But again, any of those 4 and 7 teams between Devin, Danny, Ryan, and Tommy, if they lose and the other 3 win, they'll be sitting on the Easter Bunny's lap. Let's get to the big-time players here. The big-time players, in my opinion, are Jamie, Kevin, and Casey right now. They're all 7 and 4. If they win, they are in. Jamie is probably the only one sitting here in this position right now. If he loses, based on his points for record, he should be still in.
Yeah, had a good season. He's got the points for right now. He should be sitting comfortably.
He does still have Ezekiel Elliott on his team. He's losing a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. I wouldn't expect him to do anything if he got to the playoffs, but he's probably in nonetheless. Now it gets tricky. Let's look at Ricky first. Ricky's one of those, is he 6 and 5?
Ricky is 6 and 5.
Ricky's one of those 6 and 5 teams living in Florida. The sun, just living the dream down there.
Has quite a few points for right now. He's in 4th place in the standings.
If Ricky wins based on that, he's in. Unless Craig wins as well and scores 23 more points than Ricky. Interesting. Phelps will be in with a win if Ricky and Craig both lose. Another interesting thing.
Phelps, which one are we moving on to?
The losses here. If Casey, everyone has been talking about Casey this year being the first time Casey could ever get into the playoffs. We've talked about it before. He's one of the worst owners ever in the history of our fantasy football league. If Casey loses and Craig and Ricky win, he's going to be out of the playoffs.
Yeah,
There's a chance that Casey loses.
Casey's going to make a mistake. He's going to make a bad move.
Has anybody checked Casey's lineup? Does Casey have his lineup set? We don't know. Another situation is if Kevin is out if Phelps and Craig win with a certain amount of points. If they score more points than Kevin, I don't know what those points are.
We'll see.
I don't have the math in front of me. But
Kirk is on right now. He needs. He's out here slinging the D and he's touching the P. So we'll see. See how that
swinging the D and touching the P. Look at Bill's reaction for that one. You have anything to say, Dad?
No.
Just listening.
Other than that, I think we got everything. So the main guys right now are Casey, Kevin, and Jamie in, with Ricky being the next one in if he wins. But again, a lot of things can happen at the end of the season here. It's very bunched up in the fantasy rankings. Not only should we be keeping an eye at the top, keep an eye at the bottom, because whoever loses, we will all be pitching in some money to buy a onesie bunny, Easter Bunny suit and sitting on the Easter Bunny's lap. That's all I have. It's been a joy. Kevin?
Very congested coming down the stretch here. Probably more than I've ever seen in any fantasy football league.
It is. A lot of mediocre teams out there, but with that I say, one last time, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Some spread.
Some spread. Good.